Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming to another video. All right, so I just did like a hour-long therapy session where I was talking about all kinds of stuff that was really personal to me. And then I look up and the Lakers are talking about making a trade with the Pistons that we haven't discussed. So I got to immediately jump into the Laker mode of things. And that is not going to be too difficult because this trade is pretty interesting to me. Saddiq Bey and Bogdanovich. Now, obviously, we just watched both of those guys combine for like 15, what was it? Let me get this right. I think Bogdanovich hit like 8 of them probably, and I think Saddiq Bey hit like 3. So I think it was like 11 of them, right? Give or take. And, I've been thinking this one thing over the last several days. As I've been watching Bogdanovich's numbers all season long, he's practically an all-star. And they're featuring him like crazy. They're just featuring him, and it's to the detriment of some of the younger guys. But they're just giving him the ball, and he's just going crazy. And I'm sitting there and I'm asking myself, what is he doing this for? He's not doing this for nothing, I guess is what I'm saying to myself. Not what is he doing this for, but like the man ain't doing this for nothing, is essentially the thought. So, do the Lakers take a chance? Because we're the ones, you know what I mean? We're the ones that really need him. Let's just be real. We're the team that can't shoot worth a damn. Are we not? So, when you start getting practical about yourself and you start getting practical about what you see, and he drops 22 points on you in a quarter, anybody in their right mind is going to start wondering about picking him up, and if it really makes sense, and if you're overthinking this thing as it pertains to acquiring this player. And to be honest with you, that's exactly where I am too. I don't know if I'm overthinking it or not, but it does look like he's probably underrated at this point. I mean, he's literally an all-star, shooting the ball over 50%. I mean, what the heck are we doing? Like, really, what are we doing? So, we need wings. Saddiq Bey is a very good young player. I read somewhere someone said Saddiq Bey is trash. I don't watch the Pistons like that, so I really don't know. But I have seen him play well in good spurts in terms of as being a fantasy player, and I know he's young. I know they paid him a hell of a lot of money. You know what I mean? But he's a wing. He's a small forward who's going to hit a lot of 3-point shots for you, and he's only like probably 23 years old. So for me, that is a plus for what it is we are and who we are. It's not like if he doesn't be who we need him to be, or if he stays as he is, we can't retrade him for something nice. Saddiq Bey's going to get you something. You know what I mean? He's a nice player. And like I said, they just paid him, so you got his contract. So I think he's a safe bet as it pertains to getting a young player that you could feel good about over the next several years, that you can incorporate into your Laker way, and who can hit a lot of 3-point shots for you, who you know has an upside of maybe being an all-star, but at worst, he'll probably just be who he is right now, which is a real nice 3-point shooting guy who can start for you, you know what I mean, and who's somebody the Detroit Pistons really believed in a lot. So I think that's worth taking a look at and doing some studying, and if try to figure out if he's somebody you want to have. I didn't think of him as somebody we could acquire, but when you consider who's all out there and what do we need, you talking about bringing in those two players, you can't really scoff at that. You can't. Not if you got any sense. So that's where I'm at. I'm not mad at the Lakers for looking in that direction now. Is that where I want to put my 2 picks? I don't want to put my 2 picks there. I don't want to give Detroit 2 picks for that deal. I think that the way those guys are playing, you could argue it based on who we are and the leverage we have or don't have. Yeah, you could say the Lakers should probably do something like that. So, I just want the Lakers to do their due diligence. I don't know that there's a better deal. Like I said, I don't know that there's a better deal. You can get Saddiq Bey. That's a big time move, man, for our franchise and what we need. So, I don't know. The numbers don't look that bad when I look at them. I'm not, I can't sit up here and say I've broken it down. I hope it's a good deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm at with it. If the Lakers are to make it, I hope it's a good deal. It has to be a good deal if the Lakers pull the trigger on anything. That's my thing. But I would be very excited about bringing in Saddiq Bey. And the way Bogdanovich is playing, he ain't shooting like this for nothing, man. Somebody got to pick this man up and respect these numbers he's putting up. That's what it really comes down to. When a guy gets featured and he's on an expiring deal worth $19 million, essentially what you want to see him do is show that he's worth $19 million. Bogdanovich is showing us he's worth more than $19 million. That's bottom line. That's the bottom line. Now, what you think he's going to do when he gets here, what kind of system you put him in, all of that stuff, I cannot say I'm educated enough on him as a player, nor can I say I know all that I need to know to see if he would be the greatest fit or whatever. I just think that he would be a fantastic shooter for us, and I hope for the best defensively. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. If he rolls an ankle, he's an expiring contract, but I don't think we rely upon him too much. We just have some of the same problems we have right now, depending on who we give up, right? So it's not the worst thing in the world. You're definitely adding what you need, which is shooting. And so again, you don't want to overthink it. Like, what can't he do for us? What do we have right now? Nothing. So let's bring in some talent and let's get it right. Now, you guys know I've been on the Kyrie Irving train. I want us to get Kai, but I don't know where his value is. When you look at how he's playing, you say that's an all-star. When you look at what he just went through, you say I don't want to give up 2 picks. So it's like I don't know what to do. And then, like I said, when we talk about bringing his piece, I still don't think he's an answer. We really more so need kind of what those guys are, because they're multiple pieces for one. They're bigger guys, which we need, and so on and so forth. But for me, who I want us to require has always been Kyrie Irving, because I just think he fits with LeBron James. But you can't throw all your pieces at Kyrie Irving at this time. That can't be what you do. And it's unfortunate because he's worth that. He's definitely worth that on the floor. But we're in the space of the NBA, and certain things cost certain things, and if you pay certain things for other things, you're not paying for certain things for which you need to. And so that's just how we have to. You have to play it that way, man. I hate it more than anything in the world, but it is what it is. You just have to play for what you need, and what we need is 3-point shooting wings and people who can play the small forward position, and hopefully another center too, man. We really need another center, and somebody who can be dynamic in the front court. In the back court, a guard who can definitely do that. I want to see somebody who can do the things that Kai can do, man, on this team, but I just don't know that we can afford that. I don't know we can, and so, and judging by the way things are going, they're not exactly looking to buy him out or sell him low. I don't think so. Not the way the Brooklyn Nets are playing. Absolutely not. They have a resurgence, and as far as I can tell, they think they're going to make the playoffs and maybe win the whole championship from where they're at. And Cam Thomas and all those guys, they're finding something with some of those dudes, man. Just as I told them they needed to do, and play Duron Sharp and those guys. Now they're starting to, and they're starting to win. So I think Jacque Vaughn has turned their entire situation upside down. And when you have a good coach, you have to reassess your situation. If I'm Kyrie Irving, I don't know if I feel the same way about this that I did when Steve Nash was running around doing things. Now that I'm in a Jacque Vaughn system and we're winning, I probably feel a little better about being on this side of town. So I don't know that his feelings will change about us long term. He probably wants to sign here as a free agent, but for the rest of the season, they probably want to see this thing out. They probably do, but that's not me talking. That's not them talking. That's just me talking. So it is what it is, man. If we can acquire Kyrie Irving, I would like to do so at a low price, or sign him outright next year. That would be great. But I do not want to give up 2 picks for anything Brooklyn has at this time. I do not. I think we can take those picks and either hold them for ourselves and draft some awesome players with our scouts, which feels like a very smart move, to be honest. Even though I know that's not what our stars would prefer, I do think if we can make trades without involving those picks, they'll ultimately be happy with those players when they get them. A guy like LeBron James, according to Dennis Schroeder, won't play till he's 45. Brother, you got the keys to this franchise in your hands, man, and it's all about, if you want to be here till you're 45, then you're on board with resetting this thing and being a part of it. So, that's the way I see it. Unless he wants to go somewhere else to play, it's up to him. But we need to reset, and so that's what I think the Lakers ultimately are going to do one of these days. I don't know if they're going to give up Anthony Davis in doing so. They're probably going to let Braun walk, trade Westbrook or let him walk, and then just try to retool that way around AD. I think that's ultimately what the Lakers would prefer to do, low key. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. We're going to finish this season out. Hopefully these guys, for now, we can make something that we can easily undo. Like I said, Saddiq Bey is a nice retradable piece, man. I have no problem acquiring Saddiq Bey because I know for a fact he's going to play just fine. And if we need to get rid of him, we can trade him just fine. So that's cool. And then if you can bring in like a Cam Reddish on top of this, now we got some real wings. And then you'll have some players that Westbrook and these guys can pass to. Because we're leaning on some people we don't want to lean on. These small ball lineups, as we know, we're tired of that. And I think the front office is tired of looking at it. So if Bogdanovich and Saddiq Bey can help us with that, let's get a good deal for ourselves in regards to those guys, please. A good deal. That's all I'm asking, man. So yeah, that's what it is. I looked at the trade tracker. I might not have said this already, but Kendrick Nunn, Patrick Beverley, and some $2 million deal, maybe a combination of Dennis Schroeder and another $1 million guy. Or you could do Damian Jones, who's at 2 years, $2 million, which I don't know if I'm Detroit I would take it or not. I don't know, but they would probably want to pick on top of a deal where they get back Schroeder, Nunn, and Damian Jones, or Beverly, Nunn, and Damian Jones rather. So that's what would make the numbers work. Beverly's $13 million contract, I've said, was $19 million so many times. It's not. It's 13. And yeah, $5 million that Kendrick's got. So I don't know, man. I would love to do that deal without involving any picks. Maybe a couple second round picks if they want to give up 2 second round picks to assure that deal gets done. I would have no problem with that. Maybe if they want to take one, that's even better, obviously. But to make it reasonable, I would say second round picks would be the equity I'd be happy to give up. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Damian Jones, Kendrick Nunn. Is there anybody else I wouldn't mind trading? I would prefer us keep Troy Brown. I really would, just because we don't want to let wings leave. So if we can keep from having to give up Troy Brown, I think that would be a very smart thing. Even though we're bringing in wings, you want to keep as many as possible. And do not let this happen without getting us some type of center, man. Don't just think that you can bring us wings and not bring us a center. Because if we are continuing to run forward with Damian Jones and Thomas Bryant alone, and you think that's going to be enough against some of these centers, you're going to get beat. And Anthony Davis is not a center. I cannot stress this enough. So we do need to do something like that. Yeah, man. So those 2 shooters, I mean, it's a real solving of a problem, and it is some pieces that you think you can retrade if necessary. But giving up too many picks in a deal like that is something that you really have to question. It's like, are you sure you can get his first round pick for Saddiq Bey? Are you sure you can get him to play as good? Bogdanovich is playing very well right now. Can you get him to play that well in this system around AD, or are you going to watch him meet Father Time in our uniform? You know what I'm saying? A guy play well this year, next year, it could be an injury year, that kind of thing. So for me, I'm not enamored with Bogdanovich as a player. I think he's playing amazing. I love the shooting percentages, and he definitely fits this roster. But overall, if I'm investing in him next year and looking to pay him like $19 million a year, I'm going to be reluctant to want to give him that price. And I know that's what he's going to demand, if not more. So you need to really think about that, LA. Are you going to re-sign this guy? If so, what price? I like where we're headed, though. He's definitely worth re-signing, but what price? That's what it's about. And the Kyle Kuzma thing, same thing. It's obviously the same thing. Kyle Kuzma is somebody we know a little better, but I think Saddiq Bey and Bogdanovich fit better than Kuz, to be honest, because Kuzma's more of a ball handler, and those guys are more catch and shoot guys, which is what we need. So I do believe that's probably a better package for the Lakers, even though we would rather just ultimately have our guy back, Kuz, But if we can't give him the role that's going to make him his best, what are we bringing him back to, and how long will he want to stay? So that's where I'm at with that. But at the same time, you don't want him to go to Sacramento. You don't want him to go to Phoenix. And those are the teams that are interested in him in the Western Conference, from what I understand. Golden State probably is going to get involved in that conversation, too, because they should want Kyle Kuzma. If they don't, they should. So it's like, these type of things you can keep an eye on, I can think of a couple places Kyle can go. He can go to Portland right now and kill up there. He could do some great things in their rotation. Memphis. I don't think there's a place, with young players. Minnesota, all of those places could use Kyle Kuzma's piece. All of them. Whether they know it or not. Boston, all of them. Brooklyn, all of them. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a real bidding war for both of these packages. I think Saddiq Bey, you can copy and paste the same thing for those players. A lot of these teams that are not interested in making trades for Bogdanovich, I think they probably changed their mind just like I have, basically, over the last couple of games. So I'm sure there's a bidding war for this package as well, which makes me wonder if the Lakers are going to overpay, which, given the fact of who we are, if I was on the side of the Lakers, I'd try to. So, that's just what happens when you set a precedent for not necessarily making deals that are favorable for yourself. You get people thinking that it's proper to fleece you. So, I don't know. That is one reason to move on from a GM, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's what I got to say, you guys. I appreciate you guys rocking with BDF44. As you can probably tell, I've been talking for a long time, so I'm worn out from speaking. But I do want to keep you guys updated on what's going on with the Lakers at all times. And hopefully we can have a deal made of some sort that we can win and then make us a team that is fuller and ultimately give us a puncher's chance, I guess. A puncher's chance, man. I don't know. I think my picks. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's add a couple seconds to this video. So the picks, I want to inflate the price of those picks because everybody talks about our picks. They're like a popularity thing in regards to how I'm looking at the leverage of those picks. It's like it's not even about what you think those picks are going to be. I hear ESPN talking about the Laker picks every damn day. They're wanted. And the sheer notion that the Lakers are hoarding him and holding on to him and that everybody can try to pry him from the Lakers by giving him whatever or whatnot is a thing. A thing that costs something in my mind. Fake leverage, but leverage nevertheless. So as far as I can tell, we have the infamous Laker picks, which means them things are pricey. So if we're going to send them out, I want a really good return because of it, essentially what I'm saying. And then pricey. You know, nobody's talking about the Kings picks. Anybody talking about the Memphis picks? Nah, they're talking about the Laker picks. Why? Because the Lakers are hoarding them so much. And what does that make them? Valuable. True. It's really true. People, it just creates a fake want. Now everybody tries to see who can pry them from the Lakers. So yeah, man, that's what I wanted to say there. I just think that's how I would want to position myself on the other side of the table with those picks. I'm not going to be so quick to just throw them in because at the end of the day, everybody knows that those picks are something to want based on the fact that we've been hoarding them. So, yeah, that's what I got to say, man. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go back and listen to the hour and a half of all this damn talking I've been doing. And I thank you guys for watching with BDL44, and I'm out.